Hello and welcome to my little tutorial on the service learning project that exists in many of my classes. The purpose of this particular tutorial is to go through the instructions that you have and provide some clarity, maybe answer some questions, maybe provide an auditory version of those instructions that help people to learn them better. So let's take a look at these instructions. We'll make our way through them and I can explain what I'm looking for here. For one, service learning is a unique opportunity for you to witness the application of social sciences classes in the real world. It's an opportunity for you to give back by your volunteering in the community, to actually get into the things that are going on in your community. It connects you with community-based organizations, both for your awareness and certainly for some career development. Excellent component on your resume, and it engages you in your learning to a higher degree than other types of assignments. What you are going to be doing, the skills and knowledge that you're going to be developing, is you're going to perform a minimum of 10 hours of community service, apply an understanding of topics in the course to your experiences in that service, reflect upon your own personal attitudes both before and after the service, identify personal values related to civic engagement itself, generally in terms of your career and long-term planning, and reflect upon personal communication skills within the context of the service. So the first thing you have to do is locate a partner. By partner, we mean that community partner out there, that community organization, that nonprofit that's out there. And there's not a whole lot of places that you can't do this. So it's better for me to list what you can't do. I don't want you to do one-on-one service. I don't want you to do personal care. I don't want you shopping for grandma. If grandma needs somebody to shop for them, you should be doing that already. Not as a service learning project. So none of that. You also can't work in an organization that doesn't already operate with volunteers, meaning you can't replace a paid employee. So you really shouldn't be volunteering in your parents' store or working at your Uncle Stan's garage or your mom's daycare. No, those are not going to be acceptable. That's actually somewhat illegal in terms of having some positions that get paid and some positions that don't. So aside from that, I've had people work for political organizations, social change organizations, mental health organizations, medical facilities. They've worked with kids. They have worked in daycares, just not their parents' daycare. They've worked in the Girls and Boys Club. If you ever wanted to be, a big brother, big sister, you want to work at the Scouts, you want to teach Sunday school, you want to coach a team, almost anything is okay. In addition, if you're already doing something, then you don't have to look. The thing that you're doing is all set. What you do need to do is tell me about it. So in the course, there's a proposal quiz that you need to take. That proposal quiz asks you to answer a number of questions. They include the name of the service you are going to be engaged in. This is what's going to be your job title. Contact information with the person or organization that will be supervising you. A detailed description of what your duties and activities are going to be, and a detailed description of how you plan to complete the required hours. And I want you to notice that the tense, the grammatical tense that I use is future tense. What you will be doing. This means you can't use a past experience to complete this paper. It has to be hours that you clock while you were in class. So if you are already doing something, you can't use last summer's hours. As cool as that would be, maybe, can't use those past hours for this particular assignment. It has to be work that you are doing while the class is going on. We look at the next page here and we see the rest of the assignment laid out. Complete your hours, journal about them. You can submit a draft submission of your final paper, and then finally you have to submit the final paper for sure. The draft submission is optional. The grading of that will be cursory. It's just to give you feedback. It's not going to be I'm not going to do the full grading rubric on it. I'm just going to quickly go through it and give you feedback on the format and whether you've got all your bases covered or not. Probably a really good thing to do if you've never written one of these papers before. Let's take a look at the grading rubric. That's really where the rubber meets the road here. You have a title page, of course, the first page in the document. You have an introduction, a one-paragraph introduction of the work that you did, what you accomplished. And then you're going to reflect on your attitudes and beliefs both before and after your experience, and covering that new community or that community that you're involved in. It might not be new to you, but in the culture of that community, covering that information. And then we have 3 areas that are identical. This is where you're going to be connecting course concepts. And each one of these areas will be formatted as a bold title of the concept that you are looking at. The second part is a definition from the textbook of that concept. So these concepts should all be in the textbook. In fact, the concepts themselves are usually any given bold-faced term that you see in the textbook, not the course book. Any bold-faced term that you see in the textbook is up for grabs. So let's just say you were going to be doing let me get the third part. Okay, you have the title, you have the definition from the textbook, and then you tell a story. And in the story, you use the term, and you make it clear to me that you understand the connection between your experience and how it definitively relates to that concept. So let's say you were doing this for sociology, and you wanted to do a paper on, one of your topics you wanted to do was leadership. Okay, you would put leadership in bold. You'd put a definition from the textbook about what leadership is, or maybe a particular kind of leadership, and then you would tell a story using that term. One day my supervisor came in and he did X, Y, and Z, or she did this and that was an example of this type of leadership. You're actually telling a story of how you saw this happen or experienced it, and you can see that information come alive in that particular way. So you do that 3 times to 3 distinct topics. Don't do 3 types of leadership. Not what I want to see. I want to see 3 topics all over the course. You pick them, they're definitive, and they exist within the textbook. So after you've done those 3, you're going to reflect on your civic role. What do you think about volunteering, and what role will that play in your future career? And then civic communication, reflect about how you communicated your own leadership, your own ways of getting things done, those kinds of things here in the civic communication. References, would be to cite the textbook and any other sources of information that you might use. And finally, the mechanics here of the spelling and all that. In addition, you also have to document the service learning project by completing, you download this file and have your supervisor complete it. This is your time log. This is your supervisor evaluation. Both of these need to be submitted to me. They can be scanned, they can be faxed, they can be sent in an email, they can be dropped off at my office. And then there's the SL Experience Summary Survey. You click that link and it opens up a page to a survey, and complete that survey. It talks about your hours, where you worked, and it will actually allow me to reach out to that organization and thank them for allowing you to do that. So this is the assignment. It seems like it's a monumental task. In the 20 years I've been doing this, 20 plus years I've been doing this, this has almost always been a surprisingly wonderful experience for the people that have chosen this particular type of assignment. So I greatly encourage you to look at this assignment and complete it and make it a part of your resume, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. So good luck with it, and I'll see you later.